Well, I said I'd do it. I just woke up with this idea no more than 45 minutes ago, and there's going to be a myriad of emotions behind it because there's been a myriad of things that have happened since the last time I did an episode of Diary of a Mad Snowman. And I apologize for the lack of content and the lack of programming, but it's been hellacious. And it took me a long time to realize I felt something I really don't express that much. I felt overwhelmed because there's so much going on and so much that I have had to do and so much I still have to do that I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to experience the feelings that I knew would hit me, but I still wasn't prepared. And it led to something that I try not to do. I had a meltdown. And my wife and daughter informed me they've been coming fast and furious. I don't know because I'm in the moment. I definitely had a freak out in front of my daughter, and I feel miserable because I promised her and the rest of my children, and I definitely promised my wife that I wouldn't have a meltdown slash freak out in front of them, and yet it happened. And I felt awful. I still feel awful because that's my children, that's my family. I don't like freaking out in front of them. I try my best to hold it together, but after being so overwhelmed for the past 4 months, I had to realize quite a few things. First and foremost, I am an emotional individual, period. I am not the typical man of holding it in, holding it in, and holding it in until it all comes out. And I was warned a long time ago, and I still get warned today that if I do that, something awful is going to happen. And the people that were giving me that warning were dead on right. And I wasn't ready. The second thing after that meltdown, I handled it so wrong because I felt so raw about it. I felt so raw about it. I didn't know what to think, feel, or do. So I just sat here in my office and I cried. And then I went out for a drive. Even though it's hotter than hell outside, I went for a drive. I did. I went for a drive. I had to. The other moment that happened this week, the other moment that caused a panic and a near freak out is I got stuck at the light with no gas in my car on my way back home. Man, I felt embarrassed. I felt unloved. I felt unwanted. All those feelings I felt when I was stuck at the light because I drew a parallel that maybe I wasn't supposed to draw, but just being stuck there, stuck in my head. Shout to why stuck in my mind, right? About what to do next, about how I'm going to keep pushing this forward. And I think this is one of the ways I can do it. This is one of the ways I can stay motivated, stay on top of my game, and keep producing because I still have a book to finish. I still have the first version of Diary of a Mad Snowman to finish, and I plan to finish that by the end of the year, if not by the end of the summer. To be 2 parts, 10 chapters. Don't know if there'll be a third part. I gotta um, talk to my editor about it. But I came up with this idea of a weekly report as kind of like an accountability thing, as I said, because I gotta hold and keep myself accountable with everything that's going on. So distracted in many ways and uber focused in other ways that that I lost track on so many things. I've lost so many interviews. I've lost so many potential guests, and I can't worry about it anymore. It happened. I can't worry about it anymore. And feeling so bad. Um, it kept me stuck in a way that I never thought I'd be. Really did. So yesterday, for the first time in a while, I took an extended nap. And my potential interviews understood why I did what I did. And I'm happy that they did. As for me, I'm getting back to who I am. I'm getting back to me. And I couldn't be happier. It's a slow process, very slow process, which brings me to one of the things I've always had trouble with in my life. And I have to remember to do this and keep my own advice. Patience. I don't have any patience, and that has been a complete downfall of mine. And I know that now. I know that now. I know that's a flaw. I won't say it's my downfall, because if it were my downfall, I'd be in a box. Now I'm not ready to be in a box yet. This thing has to be handled one day. It has to be handled one day at a time. I'm just so glad my children understood when I did freak out in front of them. I also realized something that I also realized a mode I have been operating out of. And that mode is fear. Absolute fear. Now, why have I been afraid? People will ask. Well, I got a myriad of reasons. Because there's a haunt in the back of my head that I will make the wrong move and the world that I am still building up right now will crash. And my wife, bless her heart, has been so reassuring in saying, you're not going to lose me. But she did couple it with, however, there are some things I'd love for you to get better at, money being one of them. And now I understand that. Now I understand that. Why did it take me till now? I don't know. but it did. And I couldn't be happier and more determined to fight off everything and get back to being myself. And I said, that's going to be a challenge and a half, and I know that. But bring it on. Bring it on. Using this as part of my therapy, and notice I said part, is beginning to help again. Now I just have to develop its consistency. Just like I'm developing my consistency for my play-by-play assignments. And the most wonderful thing about that is that I'm back to doing them. I'm back to being consistent with doing them. I'm back to being consistent with my my content, all of it. And the other thing I took the time to do, I took the time to get organized. I'm still in that process of being organized, and believe me, when you have flown by the seat of your pants for a long time, getting organized is the last thing you want to face. But now I face it, and now I'm putting it together. I've learned Jody's side of the brain, being a planner, making sure everything is in its proper place. I mean, it's good to have times when you are, it's good to have times and situations when you improvise. I've done it so much, it's like second nature to me. I don't want that anymore, at least not for the most part. I had so many plans of the teams I intended to cover. One of them being the Indiana Fever, and I haven't done a Fever game yet. And David asked me, why haven't I done a WNBA game yet? And honestly, David, I don't have an answer for that. There have been so many broadcasts that I've canceled more than I've put on. I can't do that either. And I'm going to try my best not to. Some situations, technology got the best of me. Some situations, my emotions got the best of me. And more often than not, it's been the emotions that have gotten the best out of me because I've been out of the booth on a consistent basis for so long. And I'm getting back to it. I'm getting back to it. And it's a long road back. I know it is. And I'm learning a lesson that I was taught a long time ago by one of my mentors. You can't just put the headset on or sit in front of a microphone and expect to produce good stuff. There is a lot of preparation involved. And I know that now. Every time I thought I'd come up with a good set of rules here in studio for me to prep to get ready for a game or for my show, I somehow wind up breaking them and never get back to them. That has got to change. That has got to change. A lot of things have got to change. I know what I got coming tonight, tomorrow. I'm not scheduling the game for Sunday. One thing I am doing again, I'm putting the games I have scheduled to live stream in all of my calendars, including my wife's online calendar. I want to do this. I do. But wanting to do it is not enough. I know that now also. Wanting to do it is not enough. And now I realize that I really have to take it slow and getting back into a full schedule, because there are 2 teams in the NFL that I am covering each and every week. And I've got to be careful in managing my time, which means I am more than likely going to be taking a nap every day to reset. I just can't have the nap be a couple of hours long because I wake up very groggy. I wake up very groggy. I wake up very disoriented. And the third part of it, I wake up very disinterested. I don't want to do anything except go back to sleep, even given the list of things that I know I should do. Fellows here, David 3000, Iori, James. Who else is here? DDS, Adric, all cheering me on, and I appreciate it. I will cheer these guys on too. I will cheer these guys on too as they are cheering me on. It's not easy. Oh, and Daniel Barry, thank you for joining also. It's not easy to be back with, it's not easy to like jump back into something you love to do when you feel like you've been away for so long. And yet here I am, jumping back into something I love very dearly, and jumping back into something I have loved since I was 10 years old. Now the trick for me is to find the balance between my job, because this is my job. This is now my full-time gig, even though I'm going to be splitting part-time hours doing home health care. And I strictly made that part-time because I want to put all my concentration and my efforts into this. I have something now that I haven't had in 25 years. A plan. Written to the letter. I mean that. Written to the letter. And I know some adjustments are going to have to be made one at a time. And they will. And they will. I know they will. One of the things I'm going to continue to do, and do it often, is something my wife tells me to do on a daily basis. Breathe. Breathe. Long time ago, my wife said, you need to treat this like your full-time job. And when she said those words, I did it for a while. Then I got sick, and I haven't been back to that mode since. ... Until now. which also means, except for game night, I've got to have a time where I cut everything off and go to bed. I can work on my diet. I can work on getting rid of. I can work on getting rid of my caffeine habit, my soda habit, my coffee habit, and the other thing I've realized. This has been a week of realizations for me. When I get really stressed, when I get really stressed, I eat and I drink a lot of caffeine. I am slowly coming down from all this stress. The programming I'm consuming is changing. Thank you for that. Because some of the programming, and a friend taught me this, that you watch can mess with your head, get into your mindset. So I'm changing that too. I'm getting back to what I love and what keeps a smile on my face. I'm also getting back to just doing things simply. I am going to go to therapy. Arku. Wife and I are going to go to therapy. Which brings me to another thing I've realized that I've been hanging on to and I need to let it go. Two words, gentlemen: foolish pride, in thinking there are some resources I don't need and I desperately need them. It's going to be a very rigid schedule. Now, I know this. I know what I'm facing and I know the wall that I have to scale. But I say bring it on. Season 11 of Snowman in the Morning is coming on Monday. And I'm looking forward to it. I am looking forward to it. I really am. But I also know that I have to look forward to the challenge of keeping such a rigid schedule. I have to look forward to the challenge of keeping all of my commitments, because I do have a play by play gig now up in Northwest Indiana, and I plan to make every single game. I plan to make every single game I'm scheduled for, including hockey. Well, I'm hoping hockey. There hasn't been an update on that yet. And I just have to just stick with everything, because whenever something goes wrong, and I realize this also, whenever something goes wrong, I run. And I can't do that anymore. I cannot do that anymore. I simply I simply cannot do that anymore. And I'm going to do my damnedest not to. I'm going to do my damnedest not to. Every word I'm speaking right now is on record, and that's fine. Matter of fact, I welcome it. Every word that I'm speaking right now is out there, and I welcome that also. But to get back to something I love, I have to dive in to do it. And I can honestly say for the last 2 years, especially here in studio, when something goes south, I stop recording. Can't do that. Cannot do that. Will not do that anymore. There are some signs that I'm going to be putting in my office, reminding myself that I must win the day every day. Every day, I have to. Not only do I have to, I'm going to. I mean, even today, I promised myself I do a lot of cleaning up here, and I have, and I still got a lot more to do before first pitch tonight. I still have a lot to do before first pitch, and my legs are going to be worn out. I'm going to be breathing heavy by the time I turn this thing on at 7:45 for the pregame show, but I don't care. I don't care. Sometimes you get to a point where you simply don't give a fuck about adversity. I am coming to that bridge, and I am now ready to cross it. I am at that bridge. I'm at that bridge. I'm ready to cross it. Like I said, there is so much, and I know this there, and I'll say it as many times as it needs to be said. There is so much that I'm taking on right now. So much. I am just going to take a deep breath and just say, let's go. I know I have to rebuild my audience. No, change that. I know I have to build my audience. And it's a build. Season 11 of the morning show begins Monday. I think I've known for a while what the hell I need to do. I know why I need to do it. But now the most important question in my mind has been answered, and that's how. I have figured it out. Well, most of it. I have figured it out. Now I know I'm going to break my rule tonight because I need the caffeine because I have a ball game to call tonight, the Royals and the Astros. I have football and baseball tomorrow that I'm going to mix in with a lot of housework I'm going to do so I can make sure my wife has a lazy weekend. Hell, there's still some stuff I need to do here before I go on tonight. But I will be taking a drive to a gas station. I will be getting some much needed caffeine. And there's one thing I need to quit. I have to just go through the process of like fully waking up instead of getting a jolt, because every time I wake up late with something I need to with something I need to do, I go get that jolt, but then I immediately crash again and I wind up not finishing the task. Got to change that. Only way to change that is through time. Time and practice. Time and practice. Sunday is September 1st. And Sunday, I'm going to make the switch from soda to tea. And I'm going to take coffee out also. I have black tea here in the house. I just have to make it. I just got to buckle down and make it. Just got to buckle down and make it. But I'm ready for tonight. I am ready to bring you all some great baseball. And I'm ready to finally strip off the layers of this pity party that I have been in for 3 years. This why me thing. I have been living in this why me thing for a long time. I didn't realize it. I didn't begin to realize it until lately. And yes, I have taken a lot. I have taken a lot of hits health wise. A lot. But as the saying goes, that was then, and this is now. I just about got my legs back under me. And getting off that people pleasing bandwagon is something else. I have to give back the same love I have been getting from my family. And in full, too. I can't live in fear anymore. I'll say it again, and I'll say it aloud. I'll say it louder. I'll say it louder. All this love and support that I have been getting from my family and my friends. And I've only given some of it back, and that's not who I am. Two Triv, thanks for coming in. I appreciate you. I appreciate all of you for coming in. I got to get a shovel out, and I'll use Arku's words. I got to get a shovel out and start digging deep. And I'm going to make the time to tear this office apart, clean it, and put it back together for first pitch tonight. My first pitch is at 8:10. My pregame is set for 7:45. Laundry's going. I'm getting that done, and I'm so happy. But I still know there's a lot of work to do. And now I can honestly say for the first time, I'm ready to put it all in. And then the load's going to change every day. I know that. You know how good it felt last night? I did the Colorado game last night. And I had so many hiccups at the beginning of the game, even to the point, what's up, Corey? Even to the point where I was knocked off the air for about 5-6 minutes. When I was not, I have to admit this aloud. When I was knocked off the air, I nearly said, fuck it, and walked off and shut down everything. But I said, no, I scheduled this. I sat in for my friend play-by-play with JJ for a couple of broadcasts. And I got to tell you something. It felt good because the first game I did was 10 innings and the second one was regulation 9 innings. I didn't walk off last night. I didn't walk off. I took a breath. I reset. And oops, nearly had a calamity here, but it was avoided. You know what really helped me was halftime. I got to halftime. I was able to put on some music and let it run. And I went in to see my wife. Now, granted, she was in class, but I needed her touch because she has this way of of her voice just calming me. And a hug and a kiss from her really calms me and soothes me and resets me for the second half. And I have to remember, she's with me on this dream. She's with me on this chase. I was afraid to believe in it for the longest time because things kept going south. It affected my belief in my own dream because things kept going south. I know that now. I know now. This is mine. Snowman Multimedia is mine. I created this 30 odd years ago, or 20 odd years ago, 29 years. Has it gone through different names? Yep. Has it gone through different changes? Yep. Is it still with me? Yep. Am I giving this up? Hell no. Hell no. Making adjustments on the fly. It's like a game plan for football. Making adjustments on the fly. And I made a few big ones in just doing this. In just doing this. This is one thing I know I have to do each and every week now. I know it. I know it. And just that, taking a deep breath. There was one thing my friend Matt has taught me, and it's boxed breathing. And what that is, and I've gotten into doing that to help my nerves, is that you take a breath in for a count of four, then you hold it for a count of four, then release it for a count of four, and then you breathe normal for a count of four. Still something I have to get into. And I started doing that in very stressful situations. This is a dream that has been kickstarted. No, this is a dream I kickstarted. This is a dream I kickstarted when I was 10 years old, being the best at what I do. And now I can take that and be a better husband, be a better father, be a better grandfather. And to these guys here in the chat, be a better brother. Because I don't have friends. I have brothers and sisters, okay? That's how I refer to them. And that's how I will always refer to them. And I think this is the first day in 2.5 years where I can say aloud, if you don't like how I am or what I stand for, to borrow the immortal words of AB Media, you can always kick rocks. I'm not going to change for anybody unless it makes me better. Period. I'm not going to change for anybody. You understand? I'm not going to change for anybody unless it makes me better and makes me better for my family. I have not spoken that aloud in 2 years. I honestly mean that. I have not spoken that aloud in 2 years. It's like, good. That felt good to say. That felt good to say. It also feels good to say that The old snowman has returned. It's going to take a while to get back to that mountaintop. Hey, Maggie. Thanks for coming in. It has taken a lot in the last 3 years to get to the point where I thought I'd never reach again. The point of not giving a fuck about outsiders, what they feel about me, what they feel about my family, what they feel about my wife. But I will keep this. I will keep this. Outsiders can say whatever the fuck they want about me. I don't care. I've taken a lot of verbal hits, and I'm going to continue to take a lot of verbal hits. I understand that. And I get that. However, and this is the dragon in me because my wife calls me her dragon. You speak anything ill about my wife or my family, or try to cause them harm in any way, my foot's going in your ass. Whenever my daughter Cheyenne tells me about a boy she's seeing or she has feelings for, I always remind her, Cheyenne, honey, you know my one rule. And she starts giggling and she says, yes, Pops, I know the rule. The rule is if they step out of line in dealing with her, old Pops is stepping in their ass. That's my one rule. Say whatever you want about me. I don't care. I don't give a fuck. Damn, even that felt good to say. It felt good to say I don't give a fuck about what people think, about what people want to think. I take the best advice and I apply it to what I do, and I'm going forward. End of ball game. End of ball game. So I'll take the hits if it's an attack on me because I know better. I know who I am now, and I know what I need to do now. Did it take me a long time to get here? Yep. And I'm still getting there. I can't run, as Arku said, when things go south. And believe me, there have been some situations where things have went south and I've curled up into a ball. Even that felt good to say aloud because it's the truth. The most soulful sound in my life is the sound of my wife's laughter. And whenever I make her laugh, like a belly laugh, y'all just don't know how much that makes me soar. It makes me soar. It makes me fly so high when I hear that. I love calling games. I love hosting my show. And now it's time to put these headphones on or my play-by-play headphones, which I'm going to wear tonight. It's time for me to treat this like a full-time job and not just saying it either. Because I got to say, there are times where I said it and I do it for a little bit, but then something happens, it goes south, and then I go another way. Not anymore. Not anymore. I will not run when things go south. This is my promise to my audience that's here right now and my potential new audience. When things go south, I will stay put and steer the ship to the finish line. When things go south, I will not curl up into a ball in fear. When things go south, I will lean on the people that understand what I'm doing, know what I'm doing, ask questions about what I'm doing, and are genuinely interested in my business success. When things go south, I will ask questions, request information, ask why, and then work on it. And to use a basketball reference, I'm not going to be LeBron James anymore. I'm going to be Michael Jordan. I'm going to work on my shit until I perfect it. I kept fouling up names last night, and instead of getting mad about it or saying something bad about it, I said, I will work on it. I will work on it. Hell, this weekend, I'm working on my wife's office. How good that feels? After being in a wheelchair for 7 months. After being in a wheelchair for 7 months. To be able to get up, and I'm not taking full strides yet walking, but I'm walking around the house. I'm holding on to the back of chairs, yes. But I'm getting there, damn it. Well, Arku, I'll answer your question. If anybody can help me and my family out with a Cash App donation so I can continue to support my family, because I do start a part-time job next Tuesday afternoon. I'll throw it in the chat as well, but the Cash App ID is on the screen. That's one thing I haven't figured out yet using StreamYard is how to pin comments. That may be something I need to learn in YouTube Studio. I haven't figured that out yet, but I will. Alonzo, what's going on, man? Hell, I may as well make this, and I may as well just go with it. I'm going to go with it. Everything, I will go ahead and make this announcement, and I'm going to let it lay. Everything having to deal with Diary of a Mad Snowman will be on its channel, and it has the same title, Diary of a Mad Snowman, from this moment forward. The main channel, Snowman Multimedia, that is also monetized, will house my play-by-play and my team shows. Colorado Buffaloes, Northwestern Wildcats, Indianapolis Colts, San Francisco 49ers, that kind of thing. Snowman in the Morning, beginning Monday, will move to its own channel, and it'll air exclusively there at 11 a.m. I have a television network that wants to be involved. See, my goal right now is to completely heal, even though I'll be working, and then surprise my wife by paying the rest of the truck off. And then surprising myself, because I told myself this morning while in wound care, my Christmas present is going to be some wheels. And I have a plan to get there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to carry it with me like a handbook. I got to get 5 or 6 small notebooks so I can carry them with me. Each day I have something planned, and I can stick with it and execute it. I've said my fuck yous. I've cried my tears. I've said my kiss my asses. I've said my fuck a whole lot of yous, and I don't give 2/5 of a half of a damn. I've said it all. I even wrote down right now, while I was doing this, that every Friday it'll be a Diary of a Mad Snowman weekly report. And until I get that channel monetized, I know I may have to simulcast it on the main channel. I get that. Even though I just made the announcement a moment ago that everything with Diary of a Mad Snowman is moving to its own channel, it will. It'll be broadcast live there. But every Friday, I may have to change the time. I may have to change the time depending on whether I'm driving to Gary, Indiana for a game or whether I have a game here in studio. But every Friday about this time will be my weekly report. I even got a 4th channel that I'm going to start Alonzo, you let me know when you start that, and I will gladly and proudly promote it. Matter of fact, I'll give you one of the first copies when my Diary of a Mad Snowman becomes hard copy, and this will be a trilogy. I know it and I feel it. When you say stuff that you have been feeling for a long time and it finally gets out, your confidence comes back. My confidence stayed with me last night, all the way through the end of that exciting Colorado game. All the way through. I love picking on my wife and making her laugh. I love when she picks on me. That's one of our love languages, laughter. I'm going to redo my chapter on Jody for the book, and I got to make sure my editor gets it. Accountability escaped me for a long time, especially the last 2.5 years. And yes, Arku, I love picking at you, but you pick back at me. But that's what makes it so fun. That's what makes it so fun. So again, beginning Monday at 11 a.m. And let me put that channel in the chat also, so you guys can go subscribe to it, because I have a goal by the end of next week to have my Snowman in the Morning channel monetized. I lived in the negativity for far too long. I lived in the thought process of people saying, you will never be able to make that goal. Fuck you. Watch me. Maybe it takes getting these feelings out and being accountable to myself as well as for myself to get pushed forward. I never knew what the gear I needed to shift into was to keep going. I know now. I know now. Man, whew, this feels good to do. This feels good to do. And I have to keep doing it. Even if I have to record like a 15-minute piece to go into the book. And this will turn into a book. Just going to depend on the timing. So screw it. Screw it all. Fuck it all. I will reveal this. There was a point in time this week where I felt that no one would miss me if I was gone. I know that now to not be true. And I also know I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere until I am unable to keep producing. Just a lot of things I had to fight through. Just a lot of things I had to fight through, and I'm still fighting through them. You know, this is the first summer in the last 4 that I haven't landed in the hospital for something. That's incredible to me. This is the first summer in the last 4 where I did not land in the hospital for anything. I'll say it again. This is the first summer since 2020 that I have not been in the hospital for anything. That's incredible. That is absolutely incredible to me. It's crazy, but that's incredible. First time in the last 4 summers, I have not landed in the hospital for anything. Damn, that's awesome. Because now it tells me I'm on my way back to me physically. Now I'm on my way back to being me. It's a long road to hoe, but damn it, just saying that. First time in 4 summers I have not been in the hospital. But now it's time to build on that momentum. Now that I've said it, now that I've said it, now it's time to build on that momentum. I mean, hell, we kicked cancer's ass. And Arku, you've said it. Cole has said it. My wife has said it. Oh, it says, baby, you beat cancer. You can beat anything. But I will give this to men. I will say this to the men. Keep checking in on yourself and your mental health. Do not hold any feelings back. That is a detriment. Take it from somebody who's there. Do not hold any feelings back about whatever you're going through. I will say again, that is a detriment. And this is coming from someone who's lived in that detriment for a while. And it's time to come out. It's time to put it all in that box and bury it. It's time to finally come out of that pity party box, put it in the ground, and bury that son of a bitch. It's going to be a daily process. I understand that. I know that. It's going to be a daily process. And I think I can pinpoint why I haven't said some of the confident things I have lately as a daily affirmation. In my eyes, and I want y'all to tell me if I'm wrong or not, there is a very, very thin line between confidence and arrogance. I never, ever, ever want to step into that arrogance mode because that is also a detriment. I never want to step into that ever. But I think that's the most overwhelming, besides losing my family, that's the most overwhelming fear of mine. I am very confident in what I do, what I can do, and what I'm going to do. Like tonight, I have the Kansas City Royals and the Houston Astros through a snowman's eyes. The first pitch is 8:10, and I might be working up until 8:05. But fuck it. It's going to feel good. No, it's going to feel fucking awesome to put that broadcast on and not worry about shit. Just concentrate in the flow of the broadcast. Now, there are some things I need to do to get ready. I still have to get my lineups. I still have to get the schedule of programming for the broadcast. And I have two separate notebooks that I have for that. But that, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready to call every single pitch, every single out, every single hit, whatever. I'm ready. If I mess up what kind of pitch it is, oh well, I'll learn it. I want to keep doing this and bringing in money for my family so I can have a surprise gift from my wife once in a while. I already know what I'm getting her for Christmas. That's already settled. That is already settled. It started with clearing my head and getting back to what I love most: sports, old game shows, cartoons, and my family. Four simple things. While I'm doing it, let me just put a new simple profile out there about me. I just told you four things I love. The fifth thing is food, and I'm getting back into my love of cooking, which is why I have the Cash App up there now and hoping some people can give me some donations before I bounce out of here so I can go get some groceries and cook some stuff for my family. Man, I don't want to eat out all the time. I don't want to live in stress. I actually want to cook some stuff. I want to make some I want to be the one this year to make some chili for my family. You know, what game shows do I like? The Price is Right, High Rollers, The Pyramid, Card Sharks, Family Feud, the old one, um, Wheel of Fortune, Pressure Luck, Sale of the Century. Don't ask why I love Sale of the Century. I think the next time I do this, and it's probably going to be later tonight. No, it'll be Monday. I'll be back on I'll be back on Monday and I'll just have an open Q&A. Put a one if y'all want to do that Monday afternoon. Put a one in the chat if y'all want me to do that Monday afternoon. Yeah, I loved Sale of the Century. I don't know why I love Sale of the Century. But Jim Perry got me. Jim Perry was a hell of a game show host. People don't understand. Jim Perry was a hell of a game show host. But getting back to the task at hand, so much that I have to do. And the mistake I made, and I can say this aloud, was taking it all on at once. I took it all on at once. Hell, I got the Card Sharks theme in my sound base. That's one of the themes I use to like warm up and get ready. That's another thing I'm getting back to: warming up and getting ready for broadcasts. Price is Right is the oldest one. That's still going at 52 years. I'll tell you all this funny story. When Jody and I were living with our in-laws, I had a day where I was just so fatigued I didn't want to do anything. I got up, I did my morning show, and then I went back to bed. I did. I went back to bed. Um, I went downstairs to get my insulin shot, and they were having the bonus round for Wheel of Fortune. And my mother in law saw me. I'm hanging on for dear life at this point. I'm so groggy. Okay. Because all I want to do is go back to sleep. But I had to, uh, I knew I had to get my insulin. So watching Wheel of Fortune, the bonus puzzle is on. And my mother in law turned and looked at me and said, "Okay, Brian, you're so smart. Solve this puzzle." Now, mind you, folks, I can't see a thing because I'm so groggy. I can't see a darn thing. But for 2 seconds, I focused. I looked at the television screen and I spit out, "Oh, yeah, frozen yogurt." And I fell out. I hear the contestants say frozen yogurt. The audience starts celebrating, and I can feel my mother-in-law's gaze on me of, "How the hell did you come up with that?" Just as my wife walked in from work. Wife says, "What happened?" Mother-in-law points at the television and says, "Somehow he solved this." Jody comes to me and says, "Baby, are you okay?" "Just getting my insulin, honey. Just worn out." And she goes, and Jody just looked at me, looked at my mother-in-law, and goes, "Mom, he does this all the time." I don't know how I did that. I really don't know how I did that. I don't know how I don't know how I did that. But it was so funny that it happened. But I just simply stripped the in doing even in doing this, even in doing this, I have simply stripped the foundation of who I had become, and now I'm building it into who I am and need to be. And there were 3 years of stuff I had to pick off. 3 years of stuff that I've had to pick off. But you know what? Even in doing this, felt good doing it. Felt fantastic. And it also feels fantastic when you guys come in and hang out with me. I'll do an Ask Snowman Anything on Monday afternoon. And I know Monday is Labor Day. So about 3 o'clock Eastern time, I'll do it. But this felt good. Arku, to answer your question, the first host was Chuck Woolery, and then Pat Sajak took over in 1983, and now Pat Sajak is retired, and I believe it's Ryan Seacrest that will take over for Pat Sajak. I believe it is Ryan Seacrest that will take over for Pat Sajak. I've looked at a lot of old game show openings. It's not even funny. Anyway, BGS is getting ready to come on in about 8 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and bounce out of here. Thank you guys so much for the last 70 minutes. I think that's the time I'll do it from here on out. Did y'all know Vanna White was a contestant on Price is Right once? It's true. 1980. Anyway, let me bug out. Get ready for BGS's stream and my stream, which tonight will pit the Houston Astros hosting the Kansas City Royals in a potential, David, I said potential, American League Championship Series matchup. And if it turns out that way, it'll be the first time they've met in the playoffs since 2015. God bless y'all. Thank you so much for letting me rant and rave and all kinds and all that stuff. And thank you for just being there for me. I cannot tell you guys how much I appreciate you. I cannot tell you guys how much this feels good for me to do. And it feels so good, I'm going to get back into doing it. I just have to manage my time. That's the point. I have to manage my time. I've done a horrible job of it. I've admitted it. Now I can get better. Anyway, I'm out of here. I'll be on at 8 o'clock. I'll drop the link in the Discord. For those of you that have me on Discord, for those of you who know me here, you'll see the link up on my community tab. And time to play ball. All right. I love you guys. See you later.